Hey there, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh, pretty good. I was just doing a demo actually, right in the middle of it, and then once you called, I had to try and unhook everything, and then hook it back up, but that didn't quite work out fast enough for me.
Darn it!
That's all right. Okay, yeah. So I've got my, that thing that I was talking about that comes with a light.
Yep.
And then do the video. So I figured I'd hook that up and just do a quick video on the iRig and how I hooked it up to the mixer.
Oh, nice.
On how we, how we're doing it right now. So, yeah, so now I'm going through the mixer. Everything's coming up okay. I can adjust your volume if I need to, so it all kind of works out.
Oh, that's good. So you can adjust my volume and your volume.
Yeah, exactly.
So I need you to send me that file when you're done, I think, because the quality will be way better.
Yeah, it'll still be in mono on your end, but yeah, you can try it. And we'll see what the difference in quality is.
Yeah, send it to me and we'll compare.
Sounds good.
Tech Talk with Sean Geek podcast.
Sweet.
Anyway.
So, yeah.
So yesterday we had that very special episode, which I don't know if it's going to be an hour or 2 episodes, or it's going to take a lot of editing. I'm like, okay, let's squeeze out another one. There's a million topics we didn't talk about yesterday.
That's true.
So I'm like, yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So there was 3 on there that are kind of interrelated, and they're are you still there?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I just heard a beep. Anyway, there was 3 topics that related to the MCU, which is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And over the last, I think someone's trying to call me. I don't know. Someone's texting me. Wow, there was almost an accident here. That was pretty damn close. Anyway,
wow.
Yeah, see, that's what's exciting about this show. It's done on the road. Shit can happen. So there's 3 actors / producer type people that are circling the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now that are talking to Marvel Studios and Disney. And so there's The Rock, there's Keanu Reeves, and there's Mindy Kaling.
I'm not too sure who Mindy is.
You don't know who Mindy Kaling is?
I may know her work, but not by the name.
Yeah, she's a powerhouse. She's of Indian descent, and she's growing to Oprah levels or Ellen levels in terms of popularity and influence. Wow. She's a stand-up comedian. She had her own show, and she got her own production company, so she produces a lot of things. And she has a lot of freaking influence, and good on her, to be an Indian lady, and to have influence. There's a lot of young women that look up to her, and this sort of thing. So she has, in terms of influence in Hollywood, she's huge. She has a lot of power, and well deserved. So anyway, we'll start with her because it's kind of the most interesting. So she's actually, wow, that lady just went through a stop sign. Awesome. Anyway, so she's been talking to Marvel because there is a superhero that's been created, I don't know, within the last 10 years. And I could be getting some of the information wrong, so hopefully I'm not. But she's a Pakistani hero who lives in America. She's Muslim.
Right.
And she's a fan of Captain Marvel. She's a big fan of Captain Marvel.
Right.
Which, there was a movie that came out last year, Captain Marvel.
Right.
So in the comics, this character is a fan of Captain Marvel, and eventually she gets powers and decides to name herself Miss Marvel. And she's a teenager. So, she's not white. She's not a man. In fact, she's not even a woman. She's still a teenager. And that's the hero. And so many people are connecting with this character. And this character is actually, for political reasons, is a very important. It's giving, young women a figure to look up to. So very, very important character and very successful and very popular. So Mindy Kaling has been talking to them about getting this character to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh.
It's very important. Now
does she who owns the character?
Well, Marvel does.
Okay.
Like Marvel created the character.
Right.
So, but she wants to get it made. So I don't know. I mean, she wouldn't play the character. I mean, she's too old to play the character. But she, I guess, maybe in a producer capacity, or maybe even a directing capacity. I'm not really sure. But she is trying to move mountains to make sure it gets made. And Kevin Feige, the guy that runs Marvel Studios, he's long said he wants this character. He wants this movie to be made for all the reasons that Mindy Kaling wants it made. She's an important character. She's not just a superhero. She's, it's all about the diversity and it's a, good role model, all that sort of stuff. Like, it's a movie that needs to be made, but in the olden days, a movie with a character like that would never get made. But Kevin Feige is, he wants Marvel to be cutting edge, and he wants Marvel to, be all about inclusion and all that sort of stuff. So it's really exciting. I actually own a couple of the trade paperbacks of it, and it's reminiscent of when Spider-Man came out, because Spider-Man broke the mold back in the day. He was a teenager. Like, that wasn't normal. Like, was a teenager, like that's weird. So, I mean, this is kind of breaking the mold again. It's a teenager. She's unsure of herself, as all teenagers are. She's going through all the woes of being a teenager, like all that sort of stuff. And it's really good. Like, I would highly recommend it. So it may get made, and she's pushing, and Kevin Feige wants to make that. So, I mean, she might be the person that might be able to. I mean, Kevin Feige, he's the yes man, the no man, but you need someone that's actually going to maybe write the script, and kind of be the runner for the movie to get it going. So, I mean, she'd be the perfect person to get it off the ground, and it would also be funny and have a lot of heart.
So you think the funniness part would be? You said that she's a comedian, right? She's
a comedian, yeah.
Right, so I wonder how much influence she would have on the script, on jokes that she would actually put in herself, or how much leeway would they give her, you think?
Well, they tend to give their directors a lot of leeway. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, which we talked about before, they really let the director go with it. Like James Gunn, right? Like he wasn't a big name director, and they just let him, run with it. Same thing with the guy that did Ant-Man. It was, kind of a similar situation.
Right.
It was Peyton Reed, I think is the guy's name. He was basically the guy that directed Paul Rudd in a bunch of movies. So they put that guy doing Ant-Man, which is like, what? You got, these are guys that they're part of the clique that works with Will Ferrell and all those guys, and they're doing a superhero film. They didn't make a lot of sense, but the Ant-Man movies are really, really good. Like, they're really good. So, this could work. This definitely could work. But she's also a writer, too, right? Like, she's not a one-trick pony. She's not just an actress. She's not just a comedian. She's, she writes her own material. She goes and performs it. She creates TV shows. Like, she's not just, like, I'm a big fan. Like, she can do no wrong in my book. So
well,
yeah. So
what's interesting to see for sure.
Yeah. So what's your 2 cents?
I'm all for it. Yeah, I mean they've been giving women more power roles in this last bit, last couple of years, and it's nice to see that it's progressing and it's still going, and to give her that, and it's just great.
Yeah, yeah.
It's nice to see.
Yeah, it's exciting times. Like, you know, who would have thought we could get a female-led action film, and we did with Wonder Woman, and it shattered, you know, all records. And then Captain Marvel came out, you know, another female-led movie with, you know, female writers, directors, like all that stuff, and you know, it broke $1 billion at the box office. Like, yeah, like that's what people want to see. You know, people do want to see this stuff, and these movies are getting made, and they just keep breaking the mold all the time, and it's great. It's about freaking time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's move on to the one of the other two that are showing interest.
Okay.
So, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, he is the biggest movie star in the world. It's not arguably, it's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
He's the biggest thing, you know.
Well, everyone knows The Rock.
Everybody knows
The Rock, and yeah.
It's very akin to back in the 80s when you said Arnold. You didn't even have to say his last name. Everybody knew who Arnold was. Well, everybody knows who, you know, The Rock is.
Right.
Like he's big news. He's the shit. And he's big too.
Yeah, that he is.
You ever watch his workout videos?
No, I'd probably have a heart attack just watching them.
Yeah, you would. Guaranteed you would. His workouts are insane. He's one of those guys, he follows that Arnold work ethic, you know, he gets 5 hours of sleep a night, you know, gets up at whatever, 4 in the morning, works out for 2 hours. He eats every 2 hours. You know, he's got his 3 chicken breasts or whatever, and rice.
It's definitely a lifestyle. I mean, it's not something you can just, I'm going to do this for 6 months, and then, you know, this is what he does every day. This is his routine. It would have to be.
Pretty good for a guy that suffers from depression.
Oh, I wasn't aware that he did.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
So, but you know, he it looks like he has all the right things in place to, you know, to make sure he does well, like emotionally, like.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very confident, outgoing person. You would never have thought, but I mean, it takes just so many different, you know, people. You know, you think that they're all, you know, pretty solid and stuff. I mean, everyone's got their own things that they deal with, and some people are able to deal with it better than others. And I mean, there's no real face to it. I mean, it could be anybody. It's like cancer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I mean, you can't say, well, this type of person won't get it, or this type. No, anybody can get it.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, definitely. So what the news that came out, and this is a little while back, but The Rock's pretty active on social media. I mean, he's really good at branding himself. So he was tweeting, trying to set up a meeting with Kevin Feige, who's the head of Marvel Studios. Give me a call, looking forward to working with you, or something like that. Now,
I think I saw that.
Yeah, we posted that on the Meet the Geeks page, the article. So
right.
It's interesting because, you know, some actors will do that and say, hey, you know, I'd really love to meet with Kevin Feige, you know, and, you know, Kevin's like the most powerful man in Hollywood at the moment. Like, are pretty darn close. He's top 5 for sure. Like, the Marvel movies, you know, make a shit ton of money, and it's all, you know, on his back and the team he's put together. So, you know, Kevin, you know, if Kevin's interested in you, he'll call you. But he ain't going to call you if he's not interested. But he's calling out Kevin because The Rock can do that. He's that powerful And Marvel also has a rule, too, that you cannot do DC and Marvel movies. Like, you're not allowed. And, you know, currently The Rock is, you know, he's going to be in the Shazam sequel or playing the villain, like the Shazam villain, which is a DC guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's attached to it and all this sort of stuff. But even though he's already making a DC film and he, you know, he's in the pre-production of all that, he's still telling Kevin, I want to work with you. You know, and it's kind of like there's rules in place. Yeah, but it's The Rock. You know, it's kind of funny.
Cross-platform, it'll be him.
Oh yeah, of course. So that's kind of cool. I like that. You know, I mean, you can make an exception for The Rock. You can't tell me that wouldn't, you know, as big as the Marvel films are, putting The Rock in a film, like, you don't think that's, you know, that's going to help? Of course it is.
It's not going to hurt, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, already now though. I mean, he's already worked for Disney. He did one of the characters in Moana, which, you know, I'm sure it didn't. You know, that movie did a lot better because he was in it as well. So, I mean, he already has a working relationship with Disney, which owns Marvel Studios. So, I mean, you know.
Yeah. A lot of voice actors, a lot of popular people who are voice actors, I'm sure the movies do a lot better because they know and very familiar with the voice.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Exactly. So, yeah, I can see that happening. As to who he would play, I mean, he could probably pick who he wants, you know, within reason. But I have this theory that he's going to play Namor or something like that. Namor is the first Marvel character actually that was created back in 1939, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think that's the guy he'd play. He's basically the Prince of Atlantis or the King of Atlantis or whatever. So kind of the Aquaman, the Marvel version of Aquaman, way before Aquaman was invented.
Yeah, I can definitely see him as. You know, it's got the pitchfork in the ocean.
Yep. Oh yeah,
for sure.
I can totally see it. And they look the same. The only thing is Namor in the comics. He's a muscular dude, but I mean, the Rock. It looks like the fucking Hulk, pretty much. I mean, he's so freaking huge. So
he's a modern day Hulk.
Yeah,
modern
pretty much.
Arnold. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think he'd probably slim down for the role, to be honest. You know, to look more like the guy, or maybe they'll do like they know what Jason Momoa's background is though, but I don't know if he's Hawaiian. But The Rock is Samoan, like half Samoan, half black, I believe.
Right.
Or African American. Sorry about that. But like he's it's similar. Like they're both islanders, right? So would they want to do Namor? Would that make sense? So you got one Islander doing Aquaman in DC, and then you're going to grab another Islander. Like, would it make sense? Like, or be too copycat, or maybe he'll play something else. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I mean, he does kind of look the part, so, I mean, it would work, but it might be too copycat from, I mean, Jason Momoa was another big dude.
Right.
So, you know, anyway, but it's interesting. I would love to see, like, what do you think? The Rock in the MCU, is that something that would interest you?
So you mean like Rock as a superhero?
Yeah.
I can see it. I mean, he definitely has a physique for it, and he definitely has an attitude that he can definitely bring to the screen to enhance the character, for sure. So, I mean, any character you put him in, I'm sure he'll do it justice. I mean, unless it's something like really... You know, they make him into a character, and you look at it after and go, no. But I'm sure that I'm sure they're doing the research and to see which character would suit him best.
Sure. Or would you rather see him as a villain?
He hasn't played too many villains, has he?
No. He kind of sticks away from that.
Yeah, I think the only one that I saw, I think it was villain, was
Scorpion
what was
King?
it called? No, something until it hurts, or I don't know. It was him and, oh my God, I'm terrible with names. I'll think of it.
All right.
I can't remember.
But I think him playing a villain, I think if he really wants to try something cool, would be to play a villain, I think.
Yeah. No pain, no gain. I think that's
Oh, No Pain, No Gain. Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that was a good movie.
Yeah. He was kind of light on his feet in the movie.
Yes, yeah.
But it was him, yeah. But he was, kind of they portrayed him kind of like a meathead, I guess, kind of thing.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
But an actual villain who goes after people and
not comedic.
Yeah.
I
don't think I've seen anything, but yeah, it would be interesting to have that have him play a villain for sure.
Yeah, I think I would like to see him play something a bit, darker, or not darker, but have him play something less comedic, because he does have the acting chops. But if he really wants to try something, if he really wants to experiment with his acting, I mean, this is where you could do it.
Exactly.
Like, you could totally do it, with Marvel. Like, they would let him do whatever he wanted to do. No doubt. I'm actually at the liquor store. I get to buy a bottle of wine for Manny. I'm actually going to Manny's house.
You're at the liquor store.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, but hang on.
Okay.
Apparently it's locked. Oh, I guess they're not open.
Oh. Since when is a liquor store locked? The only time it's locked is if it's been robbed.
Huh. Interesting. Well, someone's about to go in. Let's see if she can actually get in. Breaking news, people.
Unless you have to be buzzed in now, with all the people just kind of going in, sauntering in, and walking off with merchandise.
There's a cop parked out front.
Aha.
And there's a sign on there. Interesting. Okay, this lady's about to go in. She's got her wine bag. Let's see if she actually gets it. This is exciting.
It's like you're on a stakeout.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard that with the amount of money that they've been losing with shoplifters, it was cheaper to have an officer there off duty and pay him to watch the door than to just watch people walk out with merchandise.
Well, it looks like she can't get in either. All right. Well, I guess I'm not going to this liquor store.
No.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm going to go somewhere else. Okay, but anyway, so can I right turn here? Yes, I can. Anyway, the last person is Keanu Reeves, who's expressed interest, and apparently they're talking to him right now to do something. And Marvel has a movie coming out called The Eternals.
Okay.
And Angelina Jolie's already in it, and they're kind of assembling it now, and it's going to be a culturally diverse movie. They're looking, they're kind of casting all over the globe for this. It sounds like, which, and the Eternals is like one of those. It'd be like the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like who's that? Like nobody knows who it is. Nobody really knows who the Eternals are either. They're kind of a different brand. So kind of a little bit odder thing. They're definitely not popular, that's for sure.
Right.
They're not on the level like Iron Man or Spider-Man or anything like that, but yeah, so anyway, so that's kind of I think they're putting Keanu in there, but Keanu acting with Angelina Jolie, that alone is interesting.
That is quite of an odd mix.
But I'm kind of excited. That actually kind of makes me excited.
Like going from, like, if you look at his history, I mean, I think he started off, and then just kind of he kind of petered out for a number of years.
Yeah, he definitely
so after
did.
The Bill and Ted had Matrix, you had the Speed, you had, and then he just kind of dropped off. And then I saw a video of him. I think he was in the subway, and he was helping someone out, I think, and someone had videotaped it. And it was kind of one of those feel-good stories, but it was just, it was a good thing. It was like, yeah, he's a nice guy. And then now that he's kind of coming back into the limelight, I mean, I've seen things where it says, like when he takes pictures with women, he doesn't touch them. So you see the pictures and you see his hands are kind of away from them.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen that or not.
No, I wasn't aware of that. So he doesn't touch people?
No, but there was a bunch of things regarding him and what he does for charities and whatnot, like the things that you would have never thought of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you never really know these people. You only know them from the movies, so you can kind of typecast them, saying, "Oh, this is the way they are." Like,
yeah,
when they're Bill and Ted or whatever. He was like, Nut Job or. Well, and then when he was in Speed, it was a whole different character again, and then the Matrix was just way out there. So it's interesting to see. I guess it's just like when you interview them, say on Ellen or one of those things, where you can actually sit down with them and talk to them one-on-one as a person and not as the actor that they're portraying, because no one really knows them outside of the movies other than when they do interviews.
Yep.
And there are a lot of people out there who don't do interviews, so you don't really know what they're really like.
Yeah, he's enigmatic, but in that way, I agree. But he's a really good dude. Like, he doesn't publicize, hey, I do this, I do that, like, the good stuff he does. It's not something he publicizes. It's not something he, is going to go and brag about. Like, he doesn't, oh, hey, I gave this much to charity. Like, that's not his thing.
Right.
Which is, but he does a lot of stuff like that. Like, he seems like, honestly, like this great dude. Like,
There's only one thing that drives me crazy about him.
What's that?
He can't grow a beard properly. My God, it's patchy.
Yep.
I'm sure in this new movie, I think I've seen a couple of clips with him with a beard. I think they may have filled it in a little bit, because I've seen him, unshaven, and I don't know, it's all blotchy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's where hair and makeup come in, so.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're for. I have a feeling Keanu's going to play. So I don't know much about the Eternals, but they're kind of like an outcast society that kind of are in hiding from, like, because they don't blend with regular society, but they all have mutations of some kind. So there was a time where Marvel was using them. Marvel wasn't using the X-Men in the comics for a time. That's a whole story on its own, but they basically were not promoting the X-Men anymore within the comics.
Okay.
So they used the Eternals or was the Eternals?
A replacement?
Yeah, as a replacement. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. It might have been the Eternals, but there was also another group, and they're a society with mutations within it, and they're kind of outcast. Whether they outcasted themselves or whatever, but anyway. Mm-hmm. So if he's gonna play one of those, I'm thinking there might be like some sort of Zen master-ish, martial arts-ish type of character that they're probably eyeing him for. I'm thinking.
Now, does he know martial arts?
Oh yeah, well he studied during the Matrix movies, and they trained for, I don't know how long it was. It might have been like 6 months or maybe even longer, where they were, everyone had to learn martial arts, and he's maintained it since then. Oh,
well, then he's a shoo-in.
So yeah, exactly. So so I just wondering how are they going to use him more, because he's an action guy now. Like, he's an action star with John Wick and all that. Like, he's right. He's known as the action guy now. So I wonder what they're going to do with him. I don't know. Kind of can't wait to see what they're going to do.
Yeah, they may put him in a whole different realm that he's never pursued before.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of
now. Would he be the villain? Do you think they would portray him as a villain, or
that's interesting. I never thought of that. That would
I can't see him as a villain. It's the same as The Rock. You can't really see him as a villain.
Yeah.
until he is, and then something to compare it to. But
that would be interesting. Man, I think I'd like to see him as a villain.
You know what would be cool? Now, I don't know if they would ever do this, but say if you took Spider-Man, for example, okay, and all his, he's got the Joker, he's got the Sandman, he's got all these guys, right?
Yep.
So what if you did the reverse role? Because they had Spider-Man, and they had the Spider-Man that had the black suit, right?
Yep.
And he was kind of Venom or whatever, like he was the bad guy, right?
Yep.
So what if you took Rhino and all these other guys and made them good guys?
Huh.
And then had a whole other group. It's almost like, say the world was at war with a different world, okay?
Yeah.
So now everybody in this world is all together competing against the other world. It's not like teams where they have, this team versus this team. No, everyone's on the same team on this planet versus...
Because the threat is so great.
Right, they combine together. It's like World of Warcraft when they do the orcs and stuff, and they all get together with the allied.
Sure.
The same kind of an idea. Now, do you think a movie like that would work at all?
That's a great idea.
Because we've been talking about the good guys, or we would think that they would portray the good guys in a superhero movie, but what if they didn't? So if you went a step further and took the bad guys, as they're portrayed as bad guys, and made them into good guys type thing, kind of like the Hulk being mean and bad, and he's they kind of portray him as a bad guy, but then now he's a good guy type thing.
Yeah.
No one would know what to think.
Now here's the other thing: Keanu could easily play that Namor guy too, the King of Atlantis, because he does have a lean physique, which Namor kind of has.
Right.
Like, that would be interesting too.
Lots of possibilities.
But Keanu, like, no one said what he's working on. Like, that's not a thing yet. But it sounds very likely they've actually been talking. So
yeah, strike when the iron's hot.
Yeah.
He's in the limelight now. Now's the time to do it.
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely.
Make hay while the sun shines, as they say.
Yep. And he'd be great. He's having such a great run right now. Like, I don't know. I'm happy he reinvented himself. Like this whole John Wick, and now Bill and Ted. They're making a Bill and Ted movie.
Are they making another one?
Oh yeah, they are. They've been Keanu and Alex Winters, the two Bill and Ted. They've been trying to get this movie made for forever, but there was problems with the rights, and they wanted to make a movie using, I think, the same director, like the same everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, with the money that he's making now, he could probably maybe afford to be the director in Bill and Ted, or help fund it anyway.
Well, it wasn't a funding issue. It was like, nope, we're not going to let you make the movie. Well, I'll throw a bunch of money at it. Nope. It was one of those situations. So
it's still worth too much to
somebody else
give it away or sell it or whatnot. Yeah, it still has value to it. If it didn't have any value, they go, just do what you want with it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've arrived at my destination. Everyone's waiting inside for Father's Day, so I'm gonna beg off here. And you don't have that? Did you find that thing, that lapel microphone thing?
No, I don't have a lapel mic here.
Damn it. Okay. You handed it to me, and I had it in my hands, and I don't know what I did with it. I didn't put it in my bag, apparently. Well,
I will take my phone and I'll turn the flashlight on and take a good look around.
Yeah, if you see it, just text me, and then since I'm at my father-in-law's, which is a block away from you, then I can just grab it, right? So.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Sounds good.
I'll sign off here and start editing yesterday's mess. It's going to take take a while to put that thing together.
Yeah, it'll all be in the Dropbox.
All right.
All right.
Sounds good. Let's talk to you later. Bye.